Mieke Bruggeman here with your third and final tutorial on dynamics and overtones. I have just a couple of exercises to help you broaden the spectrum of dynamics and a couple exercises for you to start working on overtones, which is a very useful skill to be able to tap into in order to not only help train your ear, but to also really find out and explore the possibilities of what your instrument is capable of tone-wise. So the very first dynamic exercise is working with it's called terrace dynamics, and it's actually straight out of this awesome book, Top Tones for the Saxophone by Sigurd Roscher. This is really an essential book for all saxophone students to own, practice, and work out of. Hint, hint. There's just a lot of really great tone development exercises in there. So one of which is this terrace dynamics exercise. So we're going to start on our favorite note, B, and I'm going to play fortissimo, fortissimo, forte, mezzo forte, mezzo piano, piano, pianissimo, pianissimo. And I'm going to start each volume with a nice clean attack, steady tone in the middle, and a nice clean release at the very end. This is what that sounds like. Okay, so once you start to get the hang of that, you can work your way down chromatically as well as work your way up chromatically, covering the entire range of your saxophone. And it might take some work. Maybe you want to start on mezzo forte and work your way softer from there, or start on mezzo forte and start to work on increasing your volume. All of these take a little bit of time and practice, but the more consistently you practice it, the more you will be able to widen the spectrum for what you're capable of playing dynamics on the instrument, which is kind of exciting. So then the second exercise is to start as loud as you can and then get as soft as you can. And the trick and the challenge to this one is making sure that it's a really smooth, gradual transition from loud to soft. And maybe when you're first starting out, it might be da, maybe quick. Over time, you'll be able to get it to not only last, the decrescendo to last longer, but you'll also be able to start louder and get softer. Okay, so this is a demonstration. This might also be something good to practice with a tuner to make sure that as you get softer, the pitch doesn't get flat. So if we start loud and get soft, the next exercise involves starting as soft as you can and getting as loud as you can. And one of the tricks to that is working with experimenting with starting the tone as soft as you can on an air attack. So don't worry about using any articulation at first. Start with a nice, gentle, controlled, soft sound, and then work towards getting louder. and ending with a nice clean attack. So those are some really good dynamic exercises that you can practice. Again, once you get the mechanics of it, then start to explore and add the challenge of doing the same thing on all of the notes on your instrument. Okay, so getting into overtones, for those of you who aren't familiar, for more information, I really recommend that you get this Top Tones for Saxophone book to go into further explanation about it. A very short abbreviated version is basically that for every note, there are lots of different frequencies contained within that note. And so what we're doing as an exercise is trying to tap into those specific notes, which will help really tap into and be able for you to explore all the possibilities of resonance within your instrument. So to start off, this is the beginning level, and again, it requires a lot of coordination of what's happening with the lips, jaw, tongue, throat, and your air. So to start you off, the beginning level exercise is simply to try and get octaves without using the octave key. So I'm going to start on my high B, but I'm not going to put my octave key down. Okay, if you have a hard time getting that high B to come out without the octave key, you can cheat and start with the octave key and then remove the octave key and see if you can maintain that pitch. And you may need to practice that first until you can build up some consistency with being able to hit that. Once you are able to hit that, then start to do the octaves and go down chromatically. Once you get down to low D, you can experiment with using your low C sharp fingering, but getting the C sharp above that. Doing the same thing on your low C fingering, your low B fingering, and the low B flat fingering. Once that starts to click into place, then we can start getting into trying to pick out some of those very specific frequencies, the first of which is an octave. So now you're going to start on the low B flat and try to get the octave above. And the way I'm doing that is I'm changing stuff in here is slightly altering and the alterating. It's changing in here. That's what I'm trying to say. And the way to start to get the feel for that is you could sing the octaves to try and get some physical connection between that going. And then really trying to hear the pitch in your ear before you play that pitch. Once you are able to get that octave, then the next pitch above that is a fifth above, which is the F above the B flat. So now I have these three pitches, the fundamental pitch, the first overtone, which is an octave, and the second overtone, which is an F. So for intermediate level, see if you can just get those three pitches to be nice and clean and clear. And you can even practice going up and down. And you can continue trying the same thing on your low B. As well as your low C and C sharp, and just, explore and get curious about it. See what you can do. Advanced level options are to continue going up this harmonic series, which is in the Top Tones for Saxophone book. I'm just going to play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. And I'm doing all of those pitches by just fingering my low B flat. Once you can do that, or something similar to that, then you can try to create songs using these different overtones, which is pretty fun. I remember one of the ones that my college professor taught me was Reveille. Right? So you can really have some fun with it. And there are a ton of overtone exercises in that Top Tones for Saxophone book. So I hope that you've enjoyed these tutorials. If you have any questions on any of them, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you along with your saxophone tips and tricks. Now wash your hands and go practice.